All right, metal maniacs and thrashers, it's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. I am absolutely incredibly excited today. I am chatting with the one and the only Mr. Mike Dreher, of course, of the mighty Lich King, Condition Critical, Chaos Sanctuary, among other bands. So, Mike, thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing, sir?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I should also mention Annihilation Process, where you play guitar. Of course, you play bass in the other bands, but playing guitar in Annihilation Process. So yeah, very cool stuff. So first off, I guess you're a busy guy. You're in multiple bands. What do you have going on right now? What's kind of the new? What's happening now?
We're in the midst of writing the new Lich King album and
Oh,
the new
great.
Condition Critical album. We're letting the new, like the Annihilation Process EP soak in since it was just released back in November. So we're kind of letting that soak in. But like, we're always, doing new things. But like the main focus right now in my life is the new Lich King and Condition Critical album for sure.
Nice,
So
very cool. Do you guys have like kind of a schedule or a release date at this point, or is it too early in the process?
not too early in the process. Like Condition Critical is pretty much just everyone is so busy, but like we have the skeleton layout of the entire album. So all the riffs and fake drums are written out. Now we just need to kind of like go over it and piece it together, you know? And then
Cool.
the Lich King stuff, it's still in the midst of like riffing and like stuff like that. So
Oh, okay, nice, very cool.
I feel like the Condition Critical is like in the more middle phase of like completion, and then Lich King is like more in the beginning of like we're finally starting to like get stuff rolling with riffing and stuff like that. So
Right on, right on. Cool. Yeah, I was going to say as a fan, it's been a while since either band has put out an album, I mean, several years. So that's very exciting news. I'm very excited to hear that.
yeah, it's
It's,
been a minute. It's been a minute for both bands, but
yeah,
we just been busy, and then we finally were like, we gotta let's get the fuck together and do some shit. So we're
cool.
trying, but
Yeah.
everyone's so busy again, so it's
Yeah, yeah. It seems like you all, and I know you don't all necessarily live in the same area, exactly. So I'm sure that
like
makes it a little trickier sometimes.
yeah.
As far as kind of both band, I guess this is a question, I guess, for both bands, and since you're currently working, writing, currently working on both albums. So kind of what is that process like as far as you said, kind of does it start with guitar riffs? Does it start with, or kind of how is it more of a collaborative effort? How do you guys kind of, and it may be different for both bands, I'm sure, but kind of what's the writing process for the band?
For Condition Critical, it's just kind of like a lot of like so Tony Barhoum and I are like the sole writers for the riffing, and like I put out like a bunch of like songs for Extermination Plan, and
Hmm.
he has a ton of ideas for this new one too, and like we ironed it out together. Like me and him, like we clicked so well. Like we come together at each other's like I'll go to his house and like he'll go on Logic and like kind of like program some drums like to each riffs, and then like he has a lot of ideas, and we have like we're really good off of feeding each off of each other.
Oh, nice.
So it's just nice to have someone like that like it's like, oh shit, that was sick, and then like iron it down, and then like he'll come up with something, or like I'll have a riff idea and I'm blank, and then he'll have that in the back pocket and then like add to it. And it's just like me and him are just like boom, boom, boom. It's just like immediately like that. So
Nice.
with lip syncing, it's a little different because Tom was the sole writer for all that stuff. And like he's no longer performing live, but he still does a lot of like the back um end writing.
Okay.
But this new album, a lot of people in the band are kind of contributing for this new Lich King record as well. So
Nice. Very cool. Very cool.
yeah, so there's a lot more heads involved with this new Lich King album, and I think it's going to be pretty sick to like see like like a lot of different. Not it's still going to be Lich King and it's still going to be straightforward thrash, 100%. But it's just
Nice.
there's going to be a lot more contribution from a lot more heads than just like one or two people. So
Okay. Interesting. Um, is it similar in terms of kind of direction musically, or are you guys doing anything different this time?
No, I mean it's just gonna be straight up throw your grandmother into the mosh pit, like
Nice.
straightforward yanking mosh and beating people up in the pit,
Right on.
keeping them up and being friendly as well. So
Right. Right on. Well, that's one thing I've loved. Well, about both bands, but well, all the bands that you're in. But that's one thing I always loved about Lich King is that there's no, it's unapologetic, and there's like, be like, yeah, we love old school thrash. We want to sound like old school thrash, which I adore and love, and that's what I grew up listening to. So for me, it's awesome, and every album you guys have put out is, it just seems like they get better and better. Even though I love all of them, from the very beginning, back in what 2007, and you
oh
joined them in what 2015, right around 2015 or
yeah,
so.
when was your first time listening?
That's a really good question. I don't remember, to be honest. It was years ago, and I think it was a buddy spun a CD, and I was like, "Who is this?" Like his, I thought it was some, when he put it on, I thought it was some old band that because it was like, God, this sounds sort of like Nuclear Assault or a little Exodus and SOD kind of stuff. Like, what? Who is this? And he's like, "Oh, it's this new band." Newer, thrash metal band out of New England. I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. This sounds like they took me right back to high school. Like, I love this. Like, I am so into this. So yeah, it was. I don't know exactly when it was. Probably 2010ish, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just killer stuff. Yeah, and speaking of for those watching, I know you guys have Lich King has a deal right now on your Bandcamp page that every single album and EP and single is for sale. Like you can buy the whole package for like $37 or something like that, which is a steal. So everybody watching, go log on right now and download Lich King because it's fantastic. And yeah, very cool stuff. And I think it even has the 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 redo or the
Do it.
yeah, which is super cool too. So yeah.
That's an online deal.
Yeah, on your Bandcamp page.
I'm going to go and download that myself.
Yeah, it's great. It's very cool. So yeah, and like I said, it's cheap and it's like I think everything you guys have ever put out. So yeah.
That's awesome you say that. So there is this one I don't remember the label in China that did it, but there was only 100 made. It's a CD. It's called the Lich King Chronicles, I
Oh,
believe it's called. And it was six box set of every one of the albums in CD format in a little case.
oh wow.
Yeah, all of them. And
Oh, that's
then there was
super cool.
100 sold, and then they just went immediately. And we each got one, thank God. Like I'm never gonna even open the Saran wrap of that. Like that's gonna
Right.
be like
Yeah, that's super cool. Wow, I didn't know that. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I would love to get my hands on one of those. That sounds very
yeah,
cool.
not worth. It's not worth what they're selling for on eBay,
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah, I'm sure it's pretty pricey at this point.
I'm willing
That's cool
to
though.
put it on eBay for an absurd amount of money.
Yeah.
Those
Um,
bands,
I was curious, how did you originally get involved with Lich King? When did, like I said, you joined, I think it was around 2015, 2014, somewhere around there. How did you get involved with them?
like right before Do Over came out, I joined actually.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So I was I me and Ryan Donato, the drummer of Condition Critical, we're in a original. We started this like death metal band in like 2007 or 8, and we played some shows, we did some things, and then he joined like this kind of thrash band off of Craigslist. He answered a Craigslist ad that his name was Alonzo Maguino, and yeah, he was like put out an ad, and then Dave Hewson, another guy that was joined. So it was just them three in Condition Critical. So they just started this band, and there was a bass player at the time, and he left like after 2 weeks, and Ryan hit me up. Like I was like in my mom's basement one time, just I don't know what I was doing, but I just remember answering the call, and then he asked if I wanted to like jam that night. And I did, and like we learned the songs, and then that's how Condition Critical kind of started.
Nice.
And we played our first show in Montclair, New Jersey, that July or so, and then we started to play shows, and then I found out who Lich King was, and I was a huge fan, just like from the internet and everything, just like figuring them out. And then they came to Trenton, New Jersey, and we opened up for them like one or two times. And then Lich King's Born of the Bomb release show was held in Florence, Massachusetts, and they asked us to play it. And then we drove to play it, and then over the years we just kept opening up for Lich King every time, and like I was a huge fan. And then Tom from Lich King hit me up about, I want to say, fall of 2014 or a little earlier, maybe I'm pretty sure it was fall. And then he asked me if he sent me a few songs to learn and like see like, hey, can you play this or like try it out? And then I sent it immediately that day because I was obsessed with the idea.
Cool.
Because I loved Lich King so much. And I sent it back like that night immediately, like my playthrough of it. And then I drove up to Massachusetts, about a 4.5 hour drive, about 2 days later. And then they took me up for a pile of wings and beer. And I went home, and then I went back the next week, and then kept going back each week for practice, and then here we are. And then I did my first tour with them that March 2015.
Nice.
So
That's awesome. That is very cool. Well, and I mean, for me, a pile of wings and beer would seal the deal right there. So
yeah. I could bring up, so so then once we started to get close, like for practice, so I would bring up a bottle of Jameson and like a case of Yingling, and I would throw away the cap of whiskey. So it's just like the whiskey's going to go bad. Like we have to drink it. There's no cap to it.
Nice.
So everybody would be like calling out of work the next day because they couldn't. See, my trick is to make people drink. Like if you throw the cap away, you kind of have to drink it though.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
But no, that's how the whole thing started. Like, so CC was opening up for Lich King, and Tom hit me up because he liked my bass tone on Operational Hazard, and then I drove up and tried out, and here we are today. So
nice. Very cool. That's a great story.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, and it's always cool. Anytime you hear about somebody who's a fan of a band and then they end up joining the band. I mean, that's kind of the dream, right?
It's just like they did it right. Like the riffs, the skanks, the mosh, like just like something was going on correctly. And I think thrash is the superior genre overall, other than old school death thrash. My favorite music is between 89 and 93. Okay. But like calling you like straightforward thrash, like Lich King, like I couldn't have been happier to like join a band that like knows how like to just like straight up fucking like mosh and like do that shit. So
yeah, very cool. Yeah. That's the thing is I need to see you guys live. I've seen footage, I've watched YouTube shows, but yeah, hopefully you'll get out this way, get out west in the not too distant future.
We were with Ex Mortis at what's the place in Salt Lake City?
It was probably either the Metro or the Complex.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I
missed that show. In 20, I want to say it's 21. We were there.
Okay.
But yeah.
I don't know how I missed that show. That's unfortunate. Well, next time. Pardon?
How far are you from the metro?
About 40 minutes.
Okay, because I also played there. I filled in for Dust Bowl in 2018, and then we played the metro actually.
Oh, okay. Wonder if I was
So,
at that show. I don't remember.
yeah,
Huh.
we opened up for this German band Dust Bolt. We opened up for Obituary on this tour. It was a Dust Bolt, Skeleton Witch, Paul Bearer, and Obituary.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I did not see that show, unfortunately. I remember it. I don't remember why I couldn't go. I think a work thing or something happened and I couldn't make it. But well, shit. Yeah, hopefully I'll get to see you play live. But I've
Yeah.
seen footage and it's great. I mean, I know there's a video floating around on YouTube right now of Lich King playing at it's in the Bronx, and it was almost a year ago. It'll be a year ago next month, and it's a killer show. St. Vitus, I think, is the bar.
Oh yeah, that was March. This last March.
Yeah, killer show. Great show. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I love St. Vitus. They film like every show they do, but like in such a sick like way, and they hook the sound system to the whatever they do. I don't know. They do really good with like the sound system live. Like they do really good with like live sound and then the camera work. Like it's just like so simple for them though. It's like they don't go out of the way. They just do like a quick like you know what I mean? Like it's like
yeah, yeah. It sounds like it sounded like when I watched it, and it's been a while since I watched it, but it sounded like they had recorded straight through the soundboard because it's really clean. Um,
oh it has
and
to
I mean,
be.
you can hear the bass notes, you can hear everything. It's very clean. Yeah, I thought it was killer. In fact, yeah, you guys should do a live album there.
Yeah.
Has that ever come up in conversation doing a live album for any of the bands you're in?
A live album? No, not at all, actually. We were thinking like in the meantime, Lich King was possibly going to start like, maybe do like a little bit of like a single or so, but I think like as of like a few weeks ago, we kind of like ironed out like we need to do our, let's get like let's just go for a fucking full album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nice, nice.
We did think about like a single or something, but I think we're leaning towards a full length for sure.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any I mean, I know you're in the midst of recording two albums right now. Um do you have any touring plans with any of the bands you're in at this point? Do you guys have anything on the scheduled right now?
Uh, Lich King has some ideas that are not announced that are probably going to happen.
Okay.
A Condition Critical, 100% no, because we are focused on like seriously just like putting out this album. And then Annihilation Process, we have a couple of offers that we might possibly take on though. But
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Very cool. Um so you mentioned before, when you got the call, way back when. So I wanted to go even further back. I was curious about how you got started in music. Kind of, did you come from a musical family? What was the catalyst for you? And did you start as a bassist? Because I know you obviously played bass in a lot of bands, but I know you're also a guitarist. So I was kind of curious about how that all started for you.
My dad was a bass player.
Hmm.
This had nothing to do with like my personal musical taste, but like no, he was like his band was like opening up for like Jefferson Airplane
Oh,
at
wow.
that time and everything, like or just like he was like doing crazy things, like super hippie stuff, and then he became a huge like bodybuilder, weightlifter, and everything.
Oh,
But
wow.
like for me wise, like I played baritone saxophone as and throughout like elementary school and like middle school
Okay.
and saxophone as well. And then I picked up guitar in the middle of that when I was like about 11. And then I just started to get into heavier stuff. Like, I didn't play bass until I was about 16, but I played guitar since I was about like 12. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it just like I started listening to like just like random punk bands, like new wave punk bands at the time when I was like, like 10 or 11, like shitty ones. And then like I got into like Rancid and then like, like Ramones and like and then I discovered like, Metallica, Megadeth and everything by the time age of like 12 or 13 and then like when I was a freshman in high school or like through that, I discovered like Evil and Gamma Bomb. For some reason, like I immediately like new wave of thrash, like 2010 was like, or wait, no, it was I don't know when Evil put out Enter the Grave, but like I was like hooked on it.
Nice.
I don't remember when that was like, but no, I was like listening to like that kind of stuff, and then like I want to say like by 2008 or 9. I graduated high school in 2010, so that doesn't make sense for me to listen to Evo at that time. But like Enter the Grave, like or like there was some sort of like new wave of thrash like happening in like that era. Like I think
Mhm.
it was Violator or Municipal Waste, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It had to be. And then God, then like Ryan Donato, the drummer of Condition Critical, like he turned me on to like Ripping Corpse and like Demolition Hammer and Devastation,
Nice.
Pestilence, like Consuming Impulse and like Idolatry are like literally my favorite albums of all time. Like
Very cool.
seriously, it's just like you can't beat that at all. Like to this day, like I listen to it like all the time, like at the gym or like just like anywhere. Like you can't beat that shit. Like Idolatry by Devastation, favorite album all time, no matter what.
Oh, it's so good. It's such a great album.
It's got all the elements. It's like literally has everything that you could want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing that was such a short-lived band too. Considering how impactful that album has been on so many musicians. It's amazing to me that, you know,
Seriously. So like when I was shown that in those early stages, and then like Beneath Remains, and then just like Infecting the Crypts, and then just like Pierced from Within. It's just like I'm a huge old school death metal guy too. It's just
yeah.
like, but I love old school hardcore thrash and just death metal. It's just like, but seriously, thrash is like the epitome of musical perfection, though.
Yeah, I love it as well. I'm the same. I adore it. That, and I think very similar in I'm a bit older, but so yeah, I grew up in that, kind of that early decade of thrash and and death metal. But yeah, it just I love it, and I love this, what's called the new wave of thrash. I love the fact that younger people picked up the torch and ran with it, especially at that time, because unfortunately, a lot of those, apart from some of them, but as far as like the biggies, the bigger bands weren't even playing thrash anymore. A lot of them, Metallica, Megadeth, they were putting out some good stuff, but it wasn't really thrash metal anymore. So I love the fact that, yeah, kind of in that 2000s, that you had all these young bands coming up and playing old school thrash metal. That was, it was so refreshing for me to have that back again. you know so kind of along those same lines, I mean, you mentioned a bunch of different, oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
talk
no, I
over
was gonna say like there's a lot of shit out there too. Though. There's a lot of it's just like I always give every new thrash band a chance, and like I'm not like saying I'm a veteran in any way, but like I want people to give my band a chance, and like if they give me the first 20 seconds and they throw me away, good. Like they don't like it, but like I'm just saying like there's thousands of bands that I always give like a good like you know I'll check out the entire album and be like, this fucking sucks, or just like, but I
Right.
keep it to myself. I'll never like bash about anything, but it's just like there's there's a lot of like repetition or just like doing it like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that sucks. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Right. Yep. That's true. I guess that's true in any genre, right? There's always,
Our lives though. You know what I mean? Like that's how it's been forever though.
yeah. Right. Right.
But I'm very particular with thrash, but like I still support the thrash community because like I like that a lot. I like the high energy music, but just like God, some shit is just like, come on, this like sucks. So
Right. Right. So kind of along the same lines of, you're talking about all these bands that had that you like and had influence on you. I was really curious in terms of your playing, like, and maybe this is a loaded question, but particularly, your bass work, I was curious, and maybe even your writing too, like who have been like the bass players that have impacted you most or been the most, impressionable for you as a bass player.
Dee Dee Verney, Alex Webster,
Oh, nice.
uh honestly, those two are like my favorite.
Yeah.
Just for tone is like
Yeah.
so Dee Dee plays with a pick, Alex Webster plays with the fingers, but it's just like the punchy, the crunch. I'm just gonna rhyme shit. Punchy, crunchy, funky. But, no, it's just like I don't know. It's just like those two. It's just like so goddamn good.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then like Geddy Lee too. It's just like his
Oh yeah.
random crazy shit. Like
Nice. That's very
I'm
cool.
just
Yeah.
like I'm a big.
Webster's a monster, man. That guy's a monster bass player, and I
Oh,
think
he is. I just love the tone and like the crunchiness, and then also like I mean like just like anyone that does like runs.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? It's just like those like my biggest. Those are my two favorite ever. So it's
nice.
just like
Very cool. Very cool. So let's talk. We haven't really touched too much on Annihilation Process. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Because that's a newer project for you. You started that in what 2019, right? And you play guitar rather than bass.
yes.
How
It was
did
like January 2019. Yeah.
okay? How did that all start and kind of what? And to be clear, it's a death metal band, more death metal than with some thrash
No,
influence.
it's trash.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Sorry, I guess I'm thinking of your other band, Chaos. Your Chaos Sanctuary. Sorry, I
oh no,
get
that's
things
not
mixed
my
up in my head.
that's Tony's band. Tony. I only did like one bass song on that actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Tony Barhoom's. That's like that's his jam for sure.
Okay. Okay.
And you
Gotcha.
should all check it out because like he's like that's his very technical like death metal band.
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. So sorry. So Annihilation Process then is yeah, a thrash band, but you're playing guitar in that band. So yeah, talk to me about that a little bit. Kind of what is the direction with that? Kind of what yeah, how did that all start up?
So I moved to Minnesota in 2018, and then like I wanted to like just start like a random, like I just like in between like Lich King shows and Condition Critical shows, I just wanted to thank you. I just wanted to start a band to keep busy. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Just like like while I'm here, just like in between flying back to the East Coast for shows, and I found one drummer, and then I found a singer and a drummer, and then it wasn't like great between the two of them, and then I kind of like it didn't work out between them. We don't need to go to that. And then like I found Tom Tier, like he is in a band called Coffin Rights out of Minnesota, and he was totally down for the idea, and I was like, all right, shit, you want to get together and just like do some stuff? And then I just like had some riffs for him, and then like me and him clicked immediately. He had a studio somewhere in Minnesota, downtown by Matt's. If anyone knows where Matt's is, they know where Matt's is. It's like this burger place, it's like across the street or whatever. So me and him just met up, and then we found Scott, which is our bass player, who is a really good guitar player in a technical death metal band. Don't remember the name. Doesn't matter because, you know, who cares? It's technical death metal. No, I'm kidding. And then the three of us kind of just like clicked a lot, and then we just started writing together, and then we wrote a lot of stuff together, and we had one singer, he left, and then we got a really young singer named Ezra, who's in a really good band called I'm blank right now.
Cool. Oh, I'm blank all the time, so I can never remember anything.
I'm trying to think of it, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
I wish I knew the name, like in case he sees this, like a shout out, but like,
right.
But no, he's an awesome young guy with like an incredible voice, and he's an incredible guitar player. So we were just like, yo, do you want to just like come and like do some shit with us? And like, cool. And it's like, and then we just started messing around, and he was the guy, and we forked out the money for the EP, and it turned out great. So
nice. Yeah, very cool. Yeah,
Begravement out of Minnesota, really good death metal band.
Cool.
Check that band.
I will check them out. Begravement. Okay, nice. Very cool. Awesome. And so yeah, you guys released your EP just this, as you mentioned, in November, the Sickening Madness. Sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of playing that out at this point. So obviously it's still fresh, it's still very new. And yeah, some killer stuff on that. And yeah, so I guess kind of, do you have plans at this point going forward with Annihilation Process? Are you just kind of waiting to kind of see what happens at this point?
No, we're definitely gonna start writing a full album. We got a lot of feedback. We sold out of all the copies that we've had, and like, I mean, like we had like our release show, we gave out like 100 copies, but like we had like CDs, like people like we online, we sold out of all of our t-shirts and other CDs. So, and we printed, we print more. So like, I think the thing is going good. I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't expect to have this launch like, you know, like crazily, you know what I mean? Like craze. I mean, yes. But no, I don't know. I just wanted to see what would happen with it. Like I had all these songs written and shit, and so I just wanted to see how it would go. And then there's a lot of good feedback about it, and people are really cool and interested. So
great. That's awesome. That's what you want to hear, right? Yeah, that's good stuff. Especially the fact that you sold out of all your merch, you know, that quickly. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. So very cool.
I mean, I would love to take it further. So let's see what happens. I would love to. So
nice. Very cool.
People do it, you know. So
nice. Well, Mike, this has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you tonight. And for everybody watching, if you'll look in the description below, there are links to all the bands pages that Mike is in. And as I mentioned earlier in the interview, you definitely want to get on that Lich King Bandcamp page and download all of their stuff. It's so good. And yeah, it's a nice simple package. You know, it's like what, $37. It's every single recording ever. And quick download. So very cool stuff. Yeah, thank you again, Mike. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, this has been great.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.